Dear children, Pallikaranai Class 6 Science Biology October month portion Chapter 9 Living Organisms Characteristics and Habitat. This is part 1 of video. Living organisms are found everywhere on the earth. Different regions in the world have various types of living creatures that we call it as organisms. Even the openings of volcano have tiny living organisms. Even our homes are not divided of these tiny organisms. Environment, everything that we see around us, living, non-living, physical, chemical, that constitutes the environment. In this chapter, we are going to see what is habitat. A place where the conditions for the existence of a living organism are present and where it can survive. So we can say in simple words like a surroundings where an organism lives is known as its habitat. There are two main components of a habitat. They are biotic components and abiotic components. There are biotic components. These are the living components of an ecosystem. Examples, flora and fauna we can say, that is plants, animals and other microorganisms. Abiotic components, the non-living components of the habitat, the ecosystem like air, water, soil are abiotic components, temperature, rocks, rainfall, sunlight, these we can say abiotic components. Next we will see the habitat into two categories, biotic and abiotic. Biotic, plants, animals, microorganisms. Light, abiotic components, light, temperature, water, soil, air, etc. Adaptation, the presence of special features in or certain habits which enable a plant or an animal to live in its surroundings is called adaptation. Habitat provides an organisms everything it needs to survive, like food, shelter, proper weather conditions such as rainfall, temperature, heat to their reproduction and for their survival. So different animals are adapted to their surroundings in different ways. Example, fish have slippery scales on their bodies. So these scales protect the fish and also helps in easy movement through water. If you take example, camel, it has long legs which provide protection to live in sand, excrete very small quantity of urine and you do not sweat and their dung is dry. So these are some of the adaptations we can able to see in aquatic as well as in the desert habitat. Next we will see what are the different types of habitat. Aquatic or water habitat, terrestrial or land habitat. In terrestrial habitat, land offers the best of living conditions. Therefore, the large variety of organisms is found on land. So terrestrial habitats can be desert habitats, grassland habitats, rainforest habitats, mountain habitats. So plants and animals have features that help them to survive in these types of habitat. We call it as adaptations. If you see the desert habitats, the following adaptations of various organisms like snake and rats dig burrows to escape intense heat as do not have long legs such as camel. So these animals comes out only during the night when it's cooler. So in desert plants, leaves are reduced to spines and lose little water through transpiration. The stems of desert plants have a waxy coating on them, and in most of them photosynthesis is carried out by the stem, and the leaves in desert plants are absent to prevent loss of water due to transpiration. And some of the animals which lives there are camel, kangaroo, lizards, etc. So if you see the adaptation in desert animals like camel, has long legs to keep the body away from hot sun, stores food as fat in its hump, store water in its body, and less secretion of urine. You can see the hoofs of a camel well suited to walking on sand. Eyelashes to prevent sand from falling into the eyes. So some animals remain in burrows during the day and comes out during night. Snakes, rats, etc. So if you see the desert plants, how they can adapt, the leaves are absent or modified into spines to reduce water loss. The stem is green and does photosynthesis. The stem stores water as it is thick and fleshy. Even the root will be deep into the soil, and thick waxy layer on stem prevents water loss. Thank you, children.